are watching the YCN High School Basketball Game of the Week. Today, YCN travels to the Upper Valley as the Generals of John Stark visit the Raiders of Lebanon in a Division II boys showdown. The Game of the Week is brought to you by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, the home energy specialists. La Valley Building Supplies for home improvement and construction from concept to completion. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire. Ramonto's Brick Oven Pizza in Claremont, always fresh.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Stout, joined by Andrew Zerhide, and we are here in Lebanon, New Hampshire for the Lebanon Raiders and John Stark Generals. A good matchup, Division II teams. First, let's go over to the Generals. They're 5-4 on the season, coming on strong, winning 3 of their last 4 games. Who should we be looking for out there on the court tonight?
Yeah, so the Generals are a very tall team. Most of their players are at least 6 feet tall, and we're going to be keeping an eye on the McQuarrie brothers, Drew and Parker, number 21 and 30. Drew McQuarrie is 6'5", and his brother Parker is 6'6", so look for the two brothers to really be a force here tonight.
Yeah, a couple of football stars that we've seen in the fall as well. Over on the Lebanon side, they're 5-1, suffering their first regular season loss in over a year a couple weeks ago to Hollis Brookline. Who should we be watching for tonight? Obviously, KJ Maddie's still out on the season.
Right, so with Maddie still out, Ryan Milliken has really been leading the Raiders in scoring so far. So we're going to be keeping an eye on him, and Graham Chickering, he's really their main guard. So look for Graham Chickering and Ryan Milliken to really be running the point for the Raiders here tonight.
All right, it's Division II basketball, the Generals and the Raiders after this.
Welcome back to the YCN High School Basketball Game of the Week. Let's now go down to the announcer for the starting lineups between the Lebanon Raiders and the John Stark Generals.
At this time, would you please give a warm Raider Nation welcome to the Generals of John Stark High School. Starting lineup for the Generals, number 10, Isaiah Lorraine. Number 12, Chase Patterson. Number 21, Drew McQuarrie. Number 30, Parker McQuarrie. And number 31, Cooper Gorski. Head coach for the Generals is Mike Smith. Assistant coaches are Chris Meehan and Garrison McGackie. And now, starting lineup for your Raiders, number 1, sophomore Hunter Bienvenu. Number 11, senior Graham Chickering. Number 20, junior Matt Islander. Number 23, senior Ryan Milliken. And number 32, junior Chris Nolte. Head coach for your Raiders is Mr. Keith Maddie. Assistant coaches are Paul Karp, Kyle Coburn, and Dave Posher, and Darren Johnson. Officials for tonight's game are Kevin Talcott and Jim Moylan. Please rise and remove your hats for the singing of our national anthem by Lebanon High School senior Allie Horvath.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and
starting lineups for both teams, and we are just about ready to tip it off here. The Generals of John Stark in the red and white jerseys for the Raiders. Tip goes the way of the Generals. And they'll get this Division II Monday night contest started, immediately turned over by number 10, Isaiah Lovering. Dribbled it right off his foot and goes back to the Raiders. That's not what the Generals want in the early going. Three-point attempt is up, no good. 32, Christopher Nolte with the miss from the wing, but if you're going to beat this Raider team, Andrew, as we've seen them, you need to be sound, limit your turnovers, and make shots.
Yeah, absolutely. The Raiders are a very high-scoring team. A lot of their guys can shoot the ball. Milliken, Chickering.
As we see the turnover there, forcing the pass inside, not able to connect, and Chickering comes away with it. And Lebanon sets up their offense in the half court. And there's Chickering cutting to the hoop. Not able to connect. Rebound to 21, Drew McQuarrie, the senior. One minute gone by here in the first quarter. 0 for 2 for the Lebanon Raiders, and the Generals have yet to make a shot, or take a shot, excuse me. They have 2 turnovers and 2 possessions. Let's see if they can get something going in here, but instead it's another turnover. So 3 unsuccessful trips for the Generals. Not a way to start, and Coach Mike Smith says that's not the way to start. So he takes a timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout, so we'll leave it right here. And Andrew, this is the second Lebanon game we've done on YCN Game of the Week, but we saw them a little bit in that Hanover, the Lebanon-Hanover doubleheader. And this team, as I mentioned in the pregame, only 1 regular season loss in the last 2 years, going undefeated last year, even without KJ Maddie only losing 1 game this year. They're going to be a force, especially when he comes back, hopefully for his sake, in mid-February at the latest.
Yeah, absolutely. And Division II is really going to get a shock when KJ Maddie, arguably the best player in the state, comes back and helps this already very powerful Raider team. And yeah, Lebanon, very, very strong basketball team, very deep, and Coach Maddie has really done a nice job of developing this program throughout the years. But yeah, when KJ returns, this Lebanon team is going to take off even more than they already have.
Chickering and Milliken passing it back and forth to get it over the timeline. Milliken from a deep 3, no good, and Nolte's not able to pull the rebound down. Rebound to the Generals. They get it up ahead to number 30, Parker McQuarrie. He's not able to handle it, so out of the timeout. The Generals have a nice defensive possession, but then they can't score themselves, and we're almost 2 minutes into this game. Nobody's got a basket. There's the drive, baseline. Hunter Bienvenu with the basket. He gets it to go, and the Raiders lead 2-0, 6 minutes to play in the first quarter.
Stay tuned for our Game of the Week halftime show, brought to you by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire.
And there's Ryan Milliken getting the steal, going coast to coast with the left-handed layup. He's their star on the floor, as we've noted. Can play defense, and he can certainly play offense, as we see another unforced error there. The pass just a little too high to handle, and right now the Generals thank their lucky stars that they've been able to play some pretty good defense and holding Hanover to only 4 points in the first 3.5 minutes, or 2.5 minutes, excuse me, as their offense has been really non-existent, not even getting a shot off yet, turning the ball over.
Yeah, Lebanon's done a nice job on defense so far, and you know, if you're John Stark, you got to try to work the ball in the paint, because they do have height on their side. They're a very tall team.
And they do get it inside, but Kupagorski's not able to get it. The bounce pass didn't connect. And you're right, they have the height on their side, so they really have to post up and throw the ball up top. They're trying to get the ball low in these bounce passes, and obviously this Lebanon team, they can get low and steal a couple passes, as we've seen. So Lebanon will inbound underneath their own hoop. A wide open Bienvenu, and he gets it to go from the corner. Lebanon now extends their lead 7-0 in the first quarter.
Stay tuned at the end of our telecast for the H.R. Clough Kearsarge Heating Turning Up the Heat Player of the Game, and we'll pick the top performer in tonight's matchup.
So John Stark now trying to get an offensive set here. He'll move the ball around the perimeter to try and the flash to the middle, as we see right there. Nicely done on the inside, number 30, Parker McQuarrie. He flashes, gets the ball, but it's a tie-up, and Graham Chickering pulls it away. So it will be Raider basketball. They lead 7-0 here, 4:20 to go in the first quarter, picking up the full court defense, and nicely done, tipped away. Generals come away with a steal. See if they can set up their offense and get something going. The long two-point attempt is good, and that one goes to number 31. Cooper Gorski had a foot on the three-point line, so it only counts as 2, but the first field goal attempt, and the first field goal made, 7-2. As you see Chickering go coast to coast, not able to convert on the left-handed layup, and the Generals coming right back. Getting it into the middle, nicely done, flashing outside, and the three-point attempt is good. Number 12, Chase Patterson. So all of a sudden, the last two possessions, Generals have settled down, gotten some open looks, and they now only trail by 2. Ball's out of bounds, it'll stay with the Generals. We'll take a timeout. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week. Welcome back to the YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide here from Lebanon, New Hampshire, where the Raiders lead the Generals 7-5, 3:31 to go in the first quarter.
Replays are brought to you by Ramonto's Brick Oven Pizza in Claremont, always fresh.
Bienvenu trying to force the pass along the baseline, tipped out of bounds. It'll stay Lebanon basketball. So after Lebanon opened up this one 7-0, turnover on John Stark's first 5 possessions. John Stark had scored 2 times in a row to cut the lead, but there's number 20, Matt Islander, getting his first basket of the night and extending that lead back to 4 points, 9-5, as we approach 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. Offensive foul there. The charge is going to be called on number 10, Isaiah Lovering. That's only his first foul, team's first. Nolte taking a breather, and Noah Didabani, the senior, will step in. 9-5 our score. Milliken takes it strong to the hoop. He'll go to the free throw line, drawing contact. And he'll shoot 2 here, leading 9-5, 2:57 to go in the first quarter. Ryan Milliken at the line. Milliken's first one is up and good. Nolte set the check back in, and he'll check in for number 20, Islander. Referee talking to Milliken at the free throw line, just making sure. Looks like there's going to be some blood on the hand, so they'll just get him taped up, and there'll be a little bit of a delay. He's going to go to the locker room, so they will bring someone in to take the free throw. They're checking the court to see. We're going to have a trainer come out, clean up the court. We're going to take a break. 2:57 to go in the first quarter. Lebanon leading 10-5. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week. Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. We have everything cleared up on the court, but Milliken will have to stay seated, and Bienvenu comes in to shoot the free throw. No good. So Milliken had to sit because of blood, but because they subbed him, he had to stay out. Although, kind of a disadvantage for Lebanon there. They had to clean up the floor anyway, so. And then Bienvenu picks up the foul. He'll sit down. Milliken checking back in. So 10-5 our score, getting things back to normal here. 2:41 to go in the first quarter. John Stark has had a couple successful possessions in a row, and then as I say that, they turn the ball over on a traveling call. Traveling violation, number 20, Troy Gamache. They're not afraid to pressure the ball handler of Lebanon, that's for sure, the Generals. And then the long cross-court pass, almost intercepted, but Milliken tracks it down, gets it back to the corner to Slabinski. He's fighting for it, and intercepted and taken away by the Generals. They have numbers, 3-on-2. Inside pass, number 41 gets it to go. That is Sean Levine, excuse me. Sean Levine, number 41. Cutting the lead to, Lebanon lead to only 3 points, 10-7. Inside 2 minutes to play here in the first quarter. 3-point attempt by Chickering. It's the side of the backboard and rebounded by the Generals. So Lebanon kind of going a little cold here, and the Generals, after having settled down, they look like they're getting back in this thing.
Yeah, the Generals really so far have just kind of beaten themselves. A lot of travels, a lot of turnovers. But if Generals can just play better fundamental basketball, seem to do much better overall.
And there's Chris Nolte taking it strong to the hoop. No call by the ref, and that's the right call. 12-7, Lebanon leading. So Generals setting up that half-court offense. Trying to get somebody open. They have it in the middle. They get it inside to 21, Drew McQuarrie. And he can't handle it, just a little deep on the pass and tipped away. So Generals turning the ball over. Well, at least the Generals field goal percentage is pretty good. They've made, I think, all but one of their field goal attempts. They've just been turning the ball over too much, like you said. Just be smart and keep the fundamentals sound. They'll stay right in this game. 45 seconds to go. Lebanon swinging the ball around. They get it to Milliken, and he fires a three-pointer. That's a couple steps beyond the arc, and Milliken has range. That's one thing about KJ Maddie being out this year, is you got a chance for Milliken to step it up and showcase his skills. He's a pretty good athlete in his own right.
Yeah, he is very good. He's done a very nice job of really filling that void with KJ out. Milliken, I believe he's their leading scorer, and he's looked good so far early in this game.
Pull-up jumper by McQuarrie. Rebound goes to the Raiders for a second, and then stolen away by number 20, Troy Gamache. But before he gets the timeout call, they'll call him for traveling. So Lebanon will retain possession, 9.3 seconds to go with a 15-7 lead. Once again, we see John Stark pressuring the ball handler, and it forces the turnover, and then turned right back over. Slabinski fires inside the three-point line just as the buzzer sounds. He doesn't get it to go. So Lebanon ends the first quarter leading 15-7 after one. We'll take a break and come right back with the second quarter of action. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.